Hey everyone, it's Coach Matt over here at Primal Athlete Training Center, www.primalatc.com. Answering a question today that comes from a coach named Mike Pelt. Now Mike is in New York. He owns a facility. He's a strength coach, kind of like me, but he also coaches track and field. And Mike has a question about one of his athletes having a little bit of an issue. You know, the other day we talked about landing in the bucket with your glide shot. When you glide backwards and you're landing, just to show you, you're landing way over in the bucket. So you're almost not even close to or touching the toe board on the left side. Well, Mike has an athlete, and Mike's athlete is actually doing the opposite of landing in the bucket. Mike's athlete is landing far too much to the right. Now, he's a right-handed thrower. This is pretty rare. Never really see this because most of the time the person's going in the bucket off into the left half of the circle. But this athlete's right-handed and is landing over here on the right side of the circle. And what this is going to do, obviously you lose that heel-toe relationship. So you're not able to get your hips all the way around. You're blocking yourself off. And you're going to have a lot of right sector falls, and you're going to be pushing a lot of your throws off to the right, never getting as much power into that throw as you possibly could. So start to think of the reasons why this might be happening. More than likely, it has to deal with an issue either with ankle flexibility or hip flexibility. What we mean by that is if you watch, say, the bottom of my feet, you've seen sometimes people, and now I don't know if this athlete is one of these people, but sometimes you see people that walk kind of like duck-footed. Excuse me. I don't even know if that's pigeon-toed. I don't even know if that's the right word. But they walk with their feet pointed in. And typically this stems from your hips, where your hips are not flexible in the right spot. And when you take a step, you actually are turned in. Your hips are facing in, pointed in, and the toes are pointed in. Now, maybe not as serious of an issue, but the same thing could be happening when this athlete glides backwards. When they're gliding backwards, they might be, instead of, when we talked about landing in the bucket, turning their foot out this way and opening up, where they're turning the foot and landing on the left, they might be doing the exact opposite, leading with the heel and pulling themselves out into the right. The other thing that might be happening is that they may be bringing their foot up to glide, and the knee might be touching the other knee, which is perfectly okay, but the foot might be here on the side, rather than the foot being straight. Now maybe the athlete, when he gets to a track meet, maybe he's just over anxious, maybe he's really excited, adrenaline is built up, and he's ready to go, and his form's falling apart where he's pulling that foot in, and he's pulling in kind of that pigeon-toed. Because he's pulling in this way, he's going to start to glide out into the right side of the circle, rather than most people that go behind and glide into the left side of the circle. So more than likely it has to deal with either ankle flexibility, hip flexibility, over anxiousness, or just rushing it when you get into the circle. The funny thing is that Coach Mike said that during practice he's fine. During practice he's nice and relaxed. During practice everything looks good. When he gets to the meets, that's sometimes where things start to fall apart. So the other thing that I would definitely watch for is making sure that he is relaxed in the meet the same way he is relaxed in practice, but also making sure that he has as good of a warm-up before he throws in a meet as he does before he goes to practice. Now, a lot of times we'll see, and my athletes are guilty of this too, before every 1 hour training session in this gym, the first 15 minutes of every hour training session is our warm-up. We're doing our hip flexibility, hamstring flexibility, joint mobility, getting the heart rate up. We're doing band pull-aparts. We're doing a lot of exercises to get them loose, get them flexible, get them limber, get them warmed up, get their heart rate going, get them sweating a little bit. Sometimes before you throw in a track meet, you're not prepared and you don't give yourself enough time. So the warm-up before a track meet might be, oh shoot, it's already second flight, I gotta start warming up, and then you don't have enough time. Or, oh man, I didn't get enough of this, I didn't get enough time for that. Or maybe you're warming up too early. Maybe now after you warm up, you have too much time to cool down, muscles start to tighten up again. So timing of that warm-up is key. Time how long it takes to do your warm-up on a normal practice day, and then give yourselves that much time before you get in the circle and take your throws. All right, so it could be a number of different things, but what to watch out for, the root of it, the cause of it, I think, is that the foot is coming in almost pigeon-toed on that glide, and the athlete's heel is now aiming down the right side of that circle. So try to get it so that the toe and the heel touch, and not that the heel is pointing out with that left foot. So this is a great question. It's something that we rarely ever see. Took a lot of time and a lot of thought, a lot of tweeting back and forth between myself and Coach Pellet. But what we want you guys to do is keep sending these questions in. Even if it helps one person, it's worth doing these question and answers. So keep sending in the questions. Email them to matt@primalatc.com, or you can leave the comment or a question right underneath this YouTube video, and I'll answer it in another video in the future. Talk to you guys soon.